How's that sound?
What is this?
This is one jacked up
Where's my
console. Your Andy Williams. This thing is so jacked up, guys. Let me get Missy Jen calmed down and we'll see what's going on. Oh.
Let me tell each and every one of you something. When I hear that noise, I hear the bells again.
It's pretty crazy. I'll tell you what. Alright guys, as you can tell, this unit is really jacked up here. And the other problem I have, the pressure on me. It can't sit out in the workshop like for a year like it did last time before I got to it. You know, the Christmas holidays are here. And right now I'm declaring an Andy Williams Christmas emergency with this 1960 Motorola 21 tube stereo console, 3 channels, and it's not in a very joyful mood right now. Andy, we need you around.
Hey, don't
here.
be kissing that dude. I'm gonna punch him in the face.
No, don't you take my
Jelly beans.
So we've got let's come on down to the back here and I'll show you what's going on. Unfortunately, I'm unable. I'm not going to disconnect all the components, the amplifier. You know, I'm not sure if I'll take it out. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I don't even know what the problem is. We got record player problems, and I don't even know anything about working on record players. But we're going to have to become experts today, or you know, we've got to get this thing done quick. I don't have the luxury of time because we need our Christmas music, and this is an integral part of our Christmas here.
We will be gone meanwhile.
We've got that horrendous sound. We've got something going on with the vibrasonic, the reverb units feeding into the amp. Might be time to just spend a little time and do a little more work on it. So welcome aboard the Andy Williams Emergency Christmas Repair Special. Motorola 21 tube stereo console circa 1960. Me and Andy. Yeah. All right, so yeah, let that warm up a minute. Man, it took a lot of work on this thing. You know, problem over here while that's warming up is that this thing doesn't even function anymore. So obviously we got some hum in here, we got a few problems, we got that thing to be worked on. Looks like the tuner's okay, so let's get down and see what we can figure out. I think what I'm going to do, first of all, I've noticed a couple things. Isn't it amazing what you don't notice over time when you're doing a rebuild? But I noticed over here, and pardon the camera work for a minute, I noticed underneath it here, and you got to get down, well, I got a dangling part from the record player. You can see right here. That's come loose from its bushing, whatever the hell's going on up top side there. So the guy I paid at Voice of Music to do the job obviously, you know, didn't do as well as I hoped he would do, because here I am here with this. But if you look down below here, I really got to get low here. You can see that one of the speakers, the mids, isn't even hooked up there. That's like a reverb speaker, and it's only, you know, the hookups are laying on the bottom, so I never even noticed that before. That's how insane that is. So the highest priority, of course, is to get the tuner working right again. So what I need to do, I'm going to remove this reverb unit and really take a good look at this. I hate reverb, you know, I really do. It's not my thing. We've got a 10 microfarad 400 volt electrolytic there. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get this thing removed and take a look at it. The unit out, I'm going to do a little testing on the capacitors here, the electrolytics, to see if they're still good. I'm using an equivalent series resistance tester here. I'm not going to go into all the finer points of that, But it tells me that it tells me the shape and the leakage and whether the capacitor is performing properly or not. This top capacitor, I think, is rated. I think that's rated 400 volts. That's a real heavy duty capacitor there. So I want to test that one here. And according to this, 400 volts should be anywhere below, say, 5 is pretty good. If we get a reading below 5, it indicates that we still have a pretty good unit. I'm trying to get that on there. And we're running about a 2.2, 2.3. So that is an acceptable for that unit there. So have to go ahead and I'll check the other ones too and see if we maybe this one here is bad. Got the schematic out for the reverb unit there. That's the top view of the chassis. That's what I'm working on right now. And I'm in here, and specifically I think this C84 in the position here, this C84, this particular electrolytic, I believe, has gone bad on us, and it is sitting here up here. I got all this dust in me in my nose somewhere sitting up here. I just saw it a minute ago. Right here we got 10 microfarad, the grounded to the negative side, and then it's feeding up to our tube up there. I think that's a I don't know what the heck that's the ECL82, the 6BM8 tube there. So not sure if that's going into the grid or something. And well, anyway, I think in testing that, I believe that that's defective. That's a 10. That is a 10 microfarad 50 volt unit according to the spec sheet here. C84, yeah, 10 ohm 50 volt rated unit. So I'm going to go outside and see if I have something equivalent that I can stick in there. It should be easy to top cut that. Use the legs on that one, making sure that we respect our positive and negative polarity here, but using the legs of that one to secure the new one. I'm really not crazy about doing in-house repairs. You know, it could turn into a wood burning project. I've got the soldering iron going up there, but like I said, we have limits on getting this thing out to the shop. Yes, I could take out some of the components here. It's fine. I think I can get the job done here. I've got the soldering iron heating up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cut out that old electrolytic there. I've got a nice new, and you can see the size is so much smaller now. And this is the same. It's a 10 microfarad. It's rated at actually much higher, 250 volt. You can always put a much higher rated unit. You can even play around with capacitance and stuff like that. Just don't replace a electrolytic capacitor the wrong way. Make sure you respect the positive to positive, negative to negative. And also make sure you use at least an equivalent voltage, or a higher voltage is fine. You just don't want anything smoking out on you and exploding. Okay? These things are built for a certain voltage, and make sure that you remember that. So I'm just waiting for that. And I'll go ahead and remove that, clip that out, and we'll get this one soldered up. Always make sure when you're doing this kind of work, replacement work, that you make very sure that you have a good mechanical connection before you do the soldering. And I have that right there. I have that J-hooked around, J-hooked both ways. I took the existing wire that was coming up to the old electrolytic and twisted that down into a U shape, and then put a U shape on this one and joined them together. Therefore, I'll have a good mechanical connection when I go to solder it here. takes care of the negative lead. Now all we have to do is cut out the positive side here. And we've got our new electrolytic hooked in, and I'm thinking that's going to make a big difference in performance. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Yeah, pretty good, huh? Let's add a little bit of reverb.
He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting after you.
The next thing I want to do now is I want to go underneath of here, and I want to reconnect or connect for the first time. I don't know what the heck it is. That reverb speaker was not connected on there, so I'm going to get under here now and do that. And also remember, if you're doing anything with electronics, be cautious. Leave it to somebody that knows. Really, a lot of voltage, 450, 500, 600 volts runs around in these units, and you can really get zapped. Okay, so I'm going to get under here, get my light, and get this reconnected down here. Oh boy. Pays to have depth perception, doesn't it? Wouldn't that be sweet if I just punctured the darn speaker? I gotta be a little more careful. I gotta sit the camera down here. Sorry. Alright, that is hooked up there. I'm gonna assume I have don't know about polarity of these, and go ahead and fire up again.
It's Christmas in America.
Vibrasonic scoot over there. I think we got it on this side now too. Yep. All right. Everything will be okay. Yes, it will. We've got a working unit, half of a working unit. How's that sound? Are you happy? All right, Missy Jen's off to the store. I'll see you in a bit, okay? We're going to wrap up part 1 here. We got the unit sounding sweet again. Woo! I didn't figure the tubes were bad because, as I recall, and I haven't gone back and rewatched the repair video series, some was on Hangout, some was recorded on video beforehand, but it seems to me that I put all new tubes in here. I got some Svetlanas from Russia that I laid in, a whole complement of tubes, and they really haven't even burned in yet. So I didn't think that they were going to be the problem here. But I could tell it was the reverb. It was kind of acting up because sporadically you would get that reverb. So what exactly is reverb? Let me get my light into position here, and you can see in the back there, you can see a very long, this is called a spring reverb system. And this long metal aluminum case actually houses, if you were to take the cover off that, you would see a long series of very long springs that stretch from one end to the other here. And when the electricity, you have a sort of an electrical pickup like a guitar, and they vibrate. They're caused to vibrate by this unit picks up the it's like a mini amplifier for that, but that picks up that spring sound, and it gives that deep concert hall sound. We'll demonstrate that now. As I said before, though, I am no fan of reverb, but in this 50s, late 50s, 60s, 70s, people wanted their reverb units. I'll warm this up again. Let's see if we get some music on here.
The holidays are fast approaching.
The other thing I need to do is signal sensitivity. I'm not happy about signal acquisition. I don't know if I never really did much with the tuner. I might have a defective detector tube over there. I'm not sure. So let's go ahead and add the reverb here. Let's get a little volume first. And you add, the reverb sort of gave a concert hall feel. It sort of added a depth to music, but it was like you weren't in an acoustically good concert hall. You were in like a concrete bunker or something. You know, to me, it made the music all mishmashy and not my thing.
Want a Mercedes
Taking a couple minutes to look at the sensitivity here.
Maybe you're not sure you wear the right clothes or went to the right school.
Our
Any
feed through
concerns
is
you might have about buying a new or
good on our
certified pre-owned
antenna.
Mercedes-Benz vanish the moment you walk into Mercedes-Benz of Santa Rosa. The Smothers family has owned and operated Mercedes-Benz of Santa Rosa since
Ooh, that's not good.
1992. Every client becomes part of the bonded by appreciation for the safest, smartest, most
Pull that
beautiful
tube out
cars
and
in the world.
let's
No
check
need
it
to
out and
change
see what
your
it is.
wardrobe.
That's a 12AX7, which is a preamp tube, and I'm wondering if we're getting all the upflow we should on our preamping of the signal. So why don't we go outside and just test this 12AX7. It is I think a double pentode. That means it's like two tubes in one. So let's go outside and set up our tester. So we got our booklet here. Our 12AX7 filament should be on E. Okay, 12AX7 on E. We should be in the square mode, which we are. Our power is off. We should be in socket number 1. Let's go ahead and get that positioned in socket number 1 here. Okay, socket number 1. Then selector position number 2. We'll be testing this 2 ways. So selector position 2 will start. Remember, this is double. Sensitivity's at 35. And we have to disregard lighting indicator 5. So let's go ahead and put the power to it. Fire it up. And then we'll test it for shorts and see how good this 12AX7 is. It's probably pretty good. RCA tubes really seem to go the distance, and then we'll take it through. All right. Yeah, that's plenty good on the basic test right there, huh? Now let's test it for shorts. Let's run it through the various positions. It says disregard every light except light number 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Disregard 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all good there. Now we have to go ahead. This 12AX7, we have to test the other side of it. You may wonder in your books, why does it have 2 for the same tube? So we're going to put this in selector 7 now, and then we're going to test the other side. And that's good. Okay, we got a good tube. We just got a lousy socket connection on there. So let's go ahead and see if we can clean up our legs on that a little bit. Let's test it. Disregard everything except 5. There's number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got a good pass on that.
You saved Christmas.
I've officially saved Christmas 2017 here on the Rancho. Well, we've got half the battle won today. Missy Jen's here to do the final reporting. We've got the radio side, the FM radio side, working great. I've tested all the tubes. I didn't run the video for that. Yeah, I could do a little more work. I'm going to do a little more on the sensitivity. But next time we've got to try to address the record player in part 2 of the Andy Williams Emergency Christmas Repair. Thanks for being along, everybody. Thumbs up are appreciated. And thank you, Missy Jen, for allowing me to turn your living room into a freaking workshop. Thanks, everybody. And a happy new year. Woo! All right, everybody. Goodbye, Scrooge. You're not going to ruin our Christmas.